I literally just did a video yesterday talking about the cameras which I'm going to be excited about coming out this year, and one of them was the Panasonic GH5. And if I've just today, the Panasonic announces the GH5 camera featuring weather-sealed 4K 60 frames a second, 50 frames a second, 4K 30p at 422 10-bit, blah blah blah. Okay, let's see what we've got the actual details here. 6K photo at 60p, 50p, all that cool stuff. So it's a 20 megapixel sensor and a micro four thirds, so that's really pushing it. So it's gone from 16 up to 20. It's removed the low pass filter, which is supposedly makes it more sharp. However, removing the low pass does potentially increase moire patterning. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that affects the image quality. So maybe it's sharper on large frequency and high contrast objects, but low frequency high contrast, but high frequency like a silk dress or fashion may be a total pain. So I'm surprised of taking the low pass filter out. I'm literally just kind of scanning over this. Let's see, also 3-dimensional color control, blah blah blah, rich color, blah blah blah, incorporates 5-axis dual IS. So it's got in-camera stabilization and it combines that with in-lens stabilization. So let's see, combining an optical image stabilization, so that's 2-axis, with and BSI, body image stabilization, we call it IBIS, in-body image stabilization, creating a total of 5-axis. It compensates for large movements which were conventionally uncontrollable. Awesome. So you can potentially shoot at 5 stops slower shutter speed. That's insane. So let's say you're somewhere where you're needing to get what is that like? That's going from like a 200th of a second photo to get 5 stops as a 100th. Okay, let's start with a 1,000th second photo. You can now shoot that from 1,000. You can bring it down 500, 250, 125, effectively 50, 25. A 25th of a second compared to 1,000th of a second is what 5 stops is saying. That will be interesting to see if that actually works. Okay, I'll be amazed if you can get as high quality as that. Let's see. It's accelerated by blah blah blah. Oh, so it's a digital live MOS sensor, whatever that means, and fast, super awesome. So it's 4K, 60 frames, awesome. 422 10-bit recording. I've watched a couple of videos on that to see what 422, 420, what the chuff, all that stuff means, 8-bit, 10-bit, and it pretty much means nothing to 99.4% of the people that own this camera. It is like nobody can tell the difference between 422 and 420 or 444, apart from people that do loads of color grading and are looking at the micron differences in color grading afterwards. So that's not an important thing to me. It is something which will be using up a lot more memory and a lot more processing to do that. 10-bit again just means more, like you then have 10 billion colors instead of 30 million colors is the difference between 10-bit and 8-bit or something like that. It's not important. 8-bit is fine. 10-bit is more. You won't really need it for anything. Shoots and everything. Awesome. While Cine D and Cinelike V, which have similar gamma setting characteristics for film production, are available in the photostyle settings, blah blah blah. GH5 also provides Like 709, I don't know what that is, for compatibility with HD TV. A paid software upgrade to support Vlog video recording is also available. So it looks like this is a camera where you can get paid upgrade software supports in the actual camera. That's next level kind of stuff. It can do sampling of blah, blah, blah. Don't know what any of that stuff means. Not important. Okay, autofocus system. Contrast, depth of defocus, looking good. It can achieve 200% maximum higher precision frame detection with minimum motion. It's all looking good. It's saying it can do 12 frames a second with a autofocus single or 9 frames a second with autofocus continue. That's looking good. Okay, the number of focus areas increased from 49 to 225 autofocus points. Nice. 6K photo, 6K burst, 4K photo at 60 frames a second. That's insane. By compensating, so a 4K photo is effectively an 8 megapixel photo. So you're getting 8 megapixel photos at 60 frames a second. That's nuts. 6K photo is an 18 megapixel at 30 frames a second. That is nuts. Nuts. You're getting some serious memory cards for all this stuff. Okay, and let's see. They've brought out the video. Let's have a little reaction to this. I'll mute it because it's probably got some copyrighted music. So straight away, it's looking fairly similar buttons here. That looks like a very metal dial there. That almost makes me a little bit worried about its weatherproofing. Obviously, it's going to be totally weatherproofed. Why has Panasonic made comments are disabled for this video? Why would they disable comments? I want to hear everyone kind of going on and on. Okay, on the top, it's the same as the Panasonic GH4, which is great. That's what I want. The video setting manual, shutter, aperture, and all that, and blah, 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 and then the C123. So that's more than what's necessary. I don't know why they've got C123. I've never actually used them. And even in C3, you can have C31, C32, C3. So you can effectively have 6 custom control setting things, which I'm sure is great. Okay, menu setting. You've got up-down button and the rotating dial. Good, that's what we're looking for. Front of it, we've got the... oh, hold on. It doesn't look like it's got a in-camera flash. It doesn't have a pop-up flash, which again, most people wouldn't be using it. I have, however, used it a few times in some of my shoots, where I've used it as a slave, not as a slave, but as a slave trigger to get other flashes to go off. So that's interesting that they've taken that away. Big fat dial, big fat dial. Looks as you'd expect. Okay, doesn't look any bigger, doesn't look any smaller, looks, which is good because the size is good, 20 megapixels without low pass filter. So that is something which I'm quite surprised about. From the side, it looks like it's got the same fully articulating LCD screen, which is exactly what you want. Okay, so 5-axis dual image stabilization within body and lens. That looks nice. So the 5-axis is, imagine that's a sensor. You've got pan, so that's left and right like that. You've got tilt, up and down. Then you've got yaw. No, you've got rotation like that. Then you've got yaw, which was that. Then you've got up and down, left and right. So that turns out to the 5-axis going on there. Okay, on the back, AFS, AFF, AFC, manual focus. That's the same as what it was. Live view, good, looking good. 3.680 K dot, so 3.6 million dot OLED live view. That I think is one of the highest resolution live view finders I know. I think it is, but that does seem huge. Unlimited video recording in 4K, 60 and 50p. That's impressive. Oh, there's no limit on that. Well done. Ooh. And then 422 10-bit internal recording. 422 10-bit internal recording, but then there's a little asterisk, which this thing won't go away. 420 8-bit at 4K. So if you're doing it 60 frames a second or 50 frames a second, it's 420 8-bit. If you're doing it 25 or 30 frames, it's 422 10-bit. So it's just much more going on there, and that's showing you how much you can grade the footage. New autofocus. Now here's an interesting thing: new autofocus system with advanced depth. Was it defocus depth focus D something technology for moving objects? I'll be surprised if it can do that. Okay, good. Weather sealed. And then they showed frost sealing. 6K photo. Nice. And then see the next dial from that, that will be the post focus. So after you've taken the photo, you can scroll through your image to see where you want it to actually focus. So it almost a bit like how they had, what was that company that said, hey, you can choose the focus point after you've taken the photo, and it was just like measured in light rays. Here is actually different photos taken, and it stacks the focus going on here. Here, awesome. 6K photo. Select the perfect shot from 30 frames a second at 18 megapixels. 30 frames a second. So that obviously isn't a mechanical shutter. That would be the electronic shutter. But holy moly, that is awesome. That is a beast. So what's like the Nikon D5? Is that not like that's 20 megapixels? That does like 15 frames a second, so this is doing double the frames a second, pretty much the same resolution. The only difference is it's not using a mechanical shutter, it's using an electronic shutter, which means it's quieter, there's less vibration. Just win every time. And then 60 frames a second, and you can pull out an 8 megapixel image. Nice. 2 SD card slots. That's what you want, so you can pump RAW onto one, JPEG onto the other, maybe movies onto one, photos onto the other. That is so good. That is actually very helpful. And just a great redundancy thing. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The Panasonic GH4 is like the only camera I use my Wi-Fi with. It's actually very good. There's the additional battery. Optional battery grip. Makes it bigger. Nice. It looks like they're bringing out a... I don't even know what that is. I was going to say they're bringing out a flash. I don't know what that is. That's probably a thing for... wait a minute. That looked like it could be a thing for phantom-powered microphones and stuff. Oh, it is. It is. That is for serious mic stuff. Wherever that toy was cool. Very, very excited about this. 20 meg. So, am I going to buy this? A great question. 20 megapixels isn't a big deal for me. Like the 16 or the 18 that's got just now is more than enough. The 4K 60 frames a second, again, I don't shoot that. I don't shoot 4K, it's painful to edit with. So it really comes down to, the body is great. Damn. Okay, I'm excited about this. And it is pushing the boundaries. But will it make my workflow easier, my image quality better, my editing easier, or anything like that? I don't know, actually. Be interesting. So, things I'm looking for, apart from the physical benefits that they've pumped into this camera, quite interested to see what they do in terms of its ISO ability, its low light performance, especially in video as well, if it's able to get that any better. But the next I'm looking for is the Leica Vario lens, which is coming out, the 2.8 to 4 8mm 6 to 18mm. I'm quite excited about that one. But actually, I don't know if I would be upgrading to this yet, because it's got lots of big upgrades. But the GH4 is so good already that I just don't know. So one of the things that's coming in April 2017, some of the upgrades are still waiting to come out for a wee while. 400 megabits per second, 4210-bit. That's just huge. That is very huge. 4K, 60 frames a second. So what I'm more interested in, the super slow-mo, it doesn't seem to tell us anything. I want to know what it can do at 1080. Has it increased the super slow-mo we can get in that? It's not telling us here. Not telling us here anything. Is anything else? Come on. Save power, 200th of a second. Can be used with the flash while suppressing the shutter shock. Cool. So it's got some cool things with flash. 4K HDR video recording and USB tethering. Oh, yeah, that's some pretty nice stuff going on there. Is there anything like the 1080 for oh, it doesn't tell me the rest. I need to know all the stats. Image and videos. Let's see if there's anything in there. No, that's just something completely different. So yeah, interesting. Definitely want to know more. And definitely want to see what the image quality. I don't think this is one. Actually, I don't think this is one where I'm going to instantly go out and buy. Mainly because the current camera that I've got, the GH4, is so freaking good and does everything that I need. That I just don't know if what they've put into this camera is so high level. 4K 60 frames a second. You've effectively got slow-mo in 4K. I'm not editing in that. I'm not downloading in that. I'm not exporting in that yet at the moment. That 4K is still not worth it for me. So hey, it's 4K 60 frames a second. I want to see what it's 1080 at 60 frames a second, if that's got better than what it was in the current camera, which at the moment, currently it's blimmin' good. But if its ISO is increased and if its dynamic range maybe is increased, but even that is superb. So there's really nothing to complain about the current GH4. So yeah, there you go. That's my reaction effectively to the Panasonic Lumix GH5 that's just come out. Their flagship micro four thirds camera, which is now 20 megapixels, 4K, 60 frames a second. Beast, awesome, world's first. Cool. There you go. See you guys. Bye bye.